Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Miller. I'm a representative with the PACAC organization. I just want to go over some housekeeping pieces. Your cameras are muted. Your cameras are off. Your volume is muted. You'll be able to ask questions by using the Q&A option on the bottom there on the panel. And the biggest thing I have to say is just look at our sessions as you continue to sign up. And also this session, as many other past sessions are already, will be recorded and are available online at this time. Well, I'm going to turn it over to our presenter, and I will see you at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much and have a great time.
Hi, everybody. I'm Morgan Goodwill. I am an admissions counselor at Flagler College in Saint Augustine, Florida. I work with all of our students who come from the Pennsylvania area. So if you are ever looking to apply or you're just looking at colleges in general and you happen to come upon Flagler College, I will be your main contact person for any of those reasons. So just to give you an idea of what our presentation goes over for you today, we will really just be looking at some statistics you might be interested in, like where we receive our students. We're also going to be looking at extracurricular stuff that you're able to do, Saint Augustine itself. And then on top of that, we're also going to be taking a look at the application process that you guys will be going through as well too. And like I said before, if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box so that way I can answer them whenever they come through. So we will go ahead and get started now. So Flagler College itself is a pretty small college. Our student body is only about 2,500 students. So this is pretty comparable to probably about a medium-sized high school, maybe a large-scale high school, just depending on the area that you're from. And this is something that our students really love, that they really take advantage of as well too, because while you're here at Flagler, when you're in that small classroom setting, you're really receiving that one-on-one time with those professors. You're really getting to know the students within your classes. And it's really going to be helpful for you in the end because this is where you're going to be making those contacts for yourself, creating those relationships as well too, and just establishing everything all together. And it also really helps too with that transition from that high school level to that college level. Because when you're at that high school level and you're thinking about going into that college experience, you might think that you're going to this really large scale campus, that you're going to be in these 300-person classrooms, and you're really not going to get to know anybody here and there. But here at Flagler, you're really getting that personalized experience when it comes to meeting your professors, getting those assignments done, meeting those other students within your classes. And our average class size here is about 18 students. Now that can fluctuate. Your largest course might be around 28 to 30. Your smallest course might be around 10 to 12. So it really just depends on the class that you're in, and also too maybe the popularity of the course that you're in. Maybe it depends on the major that you're in as well too. So you're going to have all those variations, but with 28 to 30 being the largest you might ever encounter, it still gives you a lot of time and a lot of room to meet the people within your classes, get very comfortable, and also get to know the professors as well too. And we're also a teaching college here at Flagler. So being a teaching college, all that means are that the professors who are creating your syllabi are the ones in your classes day-to-day teaching you everything. You don't have any student aides or grad students stepping in for the day, taking over that material and lecturing you on anything for the day. So it even creates an even better relationship for you when you have any questions for your professors or just anything in general. Now for us, even though we are on the smaller side of being a college, we do have a pretty diverse student body demographically. So of course our heavy number is going to be in Florida just because of our location, but as you travel up the East Coast, you'll see we get a lot of students from Georgia, South Carolina, Pennsylvania. We had about 23 students from there last year. You'll also see a lot of students from New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and we've also been branching out west as well too, which is also really incredible because we're getting more and more students from all different areas every year, which is perfect. And we also have a very nice international student standing as well. So you'll see students from the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and then also from Europe as well too. So if you're looking at a smaller college like Flagler, this is perfect because you're getting able to get that one-on-one time with everybody, but at the same time, you're getting a nice mix of cultures, different backgrounds, and everything all together. And these numbers up on the screen are just our students who came in last year. So you can take some of them, double, triple them, and that's going to give you a really great idea of what you're looking at for our entire student body. And with our entire student body, you're looking at a 50-50 ratio when it comes to in-state versus out-of-state. And this is also really great. And it's something that we're really proud of here at Flagler, because achieving that ratio of having a nice mix of in-state versus out-of-state, especially at a smaller college, is something that you don't really see. So having it here at Flagler is the perfect opportunity, especially if you're someone who's an out-of-state student, because chances are you're going to be able to meet someone who might have been at your high school, who might be from the same area as you, but you're also getting that opportunity to get to meet people from other areas, different places, and also from different walks of life as well. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to get in that full college experience while at the same time doing it on a smaller scale so you feel comfortable in the environment that you're in. Now, for those of you that haven't been to St. Augustine before, you might be wondering where we are exactly in Florida. So we are on the east coast of Florida, and we are about 45 minutes from Jacksonville, about 2 hours from Orlando, and we're about 45 minutes from Daytona as well too. So those are your main metropolitan areas that you might be considering when you're thinking of different areas that you might want to go city-wise, or also if you're looking at internships as well, and let's say you want to go outside of St. Augustine for internships, then Jacksonville, Daytona, and Orlando might be places you want to keep in mind. Or even if you're looking for a job after graduation, and Florida is somewhere you'd want to stay for a little bit. Now, with internships here at Flagler, they're not always required for every major, but you can do them even if your major doesn't require them. So that way you can still get that experience, still get those transferable skills, and you'll also be able to gain credit for it as well too, which is amazing because you're getting that work experience for yourself. It might even be a paid internship. And then you're also getting some of your credits out of the way throughout your college experience too. Now, some of the majors who do require them, you'll have a class for that and you work one-on-one with those professors, and they also will help you find those connections and help you find those internships for yourself. Now, if you're someone who's doing it and your major might not require it, then you can work with the department, work with your advisor, and also our career development center as well too, so that you can find an internship that is feasible for you, and that way you'll still be able to experience it and still gain credit for it as well. And if you're someone who wants to do it over the summer, but you happen to want to go back home that summer, you can also do an internship out of state as well. It does not have to be in Florida. So it's giving you that opportunity to also go home, still get that college experience, and then still gain that credit for it as well. Now, when it comes to St. Augustine, a little bit more information on us. Now, we are the oldest city within the United States, which is really cool. You have a really great historical element added to your college experience, which you don't see a lot of typical college students getting. Now, one of those historical elements might be the residence hall that you're staying in for your first year. Now, if you look into this picture, you see a kind of castle-looking building in the background. That is the Ponce de Leon Hall, and that was actually an old hotel, and that old hotel has really cool things in it. For example, each room is a different size, different shape, so your roommates will range, the way your room looks will be different, will be completely different from the way your neighbor's room looks. And you might even have a fireplace in your room. Although you can't use it, it's a really cool statement piece. You might have a Harry Potter closet in the corner, and you get to eat in this beautiful large-scale dining hall that actually has the largest collection of Tiffany stained glass in it as well too. And you're also close to the center of downtown. And in the downtown area, you have the oldest street in the United States. You are able to walk over to a fort for a little bit, and you can even do homework over there as well too. And you can also really explore the downtown area as well. With being so close to the downtown area, there are a lot of shops, a lot of coffee shops, restaurants, where you can, in between classes, if you have room for lunch, you can always head over there, grab something to eat really quick, and then always head back. And the great thing about being in the downtown area is that they're very used to the college students as well too. So with those college students eating so frequently down there or grabbing a coffee here and there, you might also be eligible for student discounts as well. And then also too, you have a lot of fun things that will happen in the downtown area. Because of the type of city that St. Augustine is, it's very lively, it's very buzzing, there are always things happening. So there might be festivals in town, such as the Seafood Festival, you might have the Greek Festival. We even have something called Rhythm and Ribs, where it's just basically a large cookout and music going 24/7, which is incredible. We also have things on the beach that you're able to go to, such as Reggae Sunday, where people just get together on the sandbar and ride their boats up, and you can just really hang out and relax and listen to music as well. And then being so close to the beach, that is something that a lot of our students love to do. So if you are someone who loves the beach and that's something you would like to do almost every other weekend, then this might be a really great place for you. Along with that, we do really encourage our students to come down to St. Augustine and visit, because it is such a beautiful place. And being able to experience things hands-on is just another reason to really consider Flagler College when you're looking at your colleges. Now, other things besides just what the town has to offer, the college also has a lot of things to offer as well too, such as resources, extracurriculars, getting you involved in other things as well. So for sports, we are a Division II school, and we are in the Peachbelt Conference. And if that's something you're interested in, our coaches do a really great job of connecting with our prospective students, such as you guys, and being able to talk to you about what to expect, if there are any camps coming up, and if you're able to attend them, and also just seeing how the culture of that team will be as well too. Now, for someone who wants to play sports, but you don't want to take it so seriously in college, then you'll also be able to really dive into intramurals, which are club sports. And it can range from flag football to kickball to sand volleyball, and competing just with a team of friends that you've put together. So you have a lot of opportunity to get active and play sports that way if that's really something that you want to get into. Now, with our other clubs on campus, they can range from hobby related to something maybe related to your major. Now, something that might be hobby related that you might be interested in, an example of that, we have the Jitterbugs. And although it sounds like a really unique kind of name, all they do is lip sync and karaoke battles. So you have something fun like that you can join that really just takes the steam off, that you're able to get together with friends and just have a lot of fun outside of the class. If you're someone who's super active and you want to go out and do stuff, there is a running club that you're able to join. There is a surf club where they get together and surf for fun, but they also compete as well too, and come back from different championships. And then if you're someone who really wants to get involved and see what you can do with your major, see if there's anything applicable that way. An example of that, we have PRSSA, and they really work with our communication majors to get them involved in the industry, see what is out there. These students get to go to conventions, get to make connections, and students have also established internships through this club, and then also established jobs for themselves after graduation. And the other examples like that you have also something called AIGA, which works heavily with our graphic design students. We also have SAM, which works with our business students. So you have all of these multiple things that you can really get involved in, get to go to conventions, get to meet people, and then also are setting yourself up for success by making these connections with other people that you might be able to meet. And if you're someone who wants to really do things on a larger scale, we do have organizations here at Flagler, and we have 3 that are on our campus. So our first one is going to be our Student Government Association, and they really work with our students, being that liaison between the student voices and the faculty and staff voices, and really helping you see what there can be changed in order to benefit you guys. And they really work just like your Student Government Association that you have at your current high school right now. Our next organization is Campus Activity Boards, and they're responsible for a lot of the fun events that are here on campus for our students. So whether it is bringing a bounce house, bringing emotional support animals the week before finals week so you can play with puppies for like an hour or 2. They'll also hand out free food, free coffee, and then they'll also put together small trips for you guys as well too, so that way you don't have to worry about transportation. It's something fun that you can do, and it can range from Disney World to the Jacksonville Zoo, or even the Alligator Farm, which is local here in Saint Augustine. And then our final organization, which is by far our most popular, is Flagler College Volunteers, and they are our outreach program. So something that's very unique here at Flagler is because we are in the downtown area, we are very intertwined with the city of St. Augustine, but then that leads us to also be very intertwined with the community itself. So this is just our way of giving back. So whether it is doing a weekly commitment with one of the organizations areas, whether that is walking animals, or maybe you're helping out at a local shelter, or just doing a beach cleanup that week, or maybe you can only do something once a semester, then they have our semester day of service, where not only students come together, but you also have faculty and staff coming together as well too. So you really get to meet people from all over campus, which is amazing. And with the organizations and the clubs, the other great thing about that are you guys are the ones creating everything and calling the shots. They are all student run and student voiced. So if you have an event in mind and you are in a club and you are creating that event, you create it from start to finish. So you guys are the ones who are really making everything happen on our campus and getting other students involved in what your interests might be as well too. Now, besides just organizations and clubs and other fun things that you might be interested in, something else that you might be looking at might be your majors. So here at Flagler, we have a little bit of something for everybody. So this can range from accounting to marketing, to international business, to graphic design, to journalism, public relations. So it really just depends on what you're interested in and what you want to take the time to learn as well too. So the way we have our academics set up here at Flagler, you are really set up on a discovery track. Now, typically at some colleges, you will see a very straightforward step-by-step program that you have to follow from start to finish in order to graduate from that department and gain your degree. Here at Flagler, you might have a couple of courses that you have to take before you can dive into those major courses, but really what you're doing is you're mixing and matching. You are able to take courses here and there, and also able to take courses in maybe another area of interest that you might want to dive into as well too. So that way you can really see where your interests lie and see what you want to actually study and graduate with in that area. Now, if you're someone who wants to study multiple things, you can also double major. So if you want to major in criminology and psychology, which is a very common pairing, you'd also be able to do that as well too. If you're someone who wants to major and then add on a minor, which is kind of like a mini concentration for you, you'd also be able to do that as well too. And if you're someone who has no idea what they want to do and you really want to take that discovery track head on and take your first 2 years and really dive into other areas and see what really does interest you and what you want to study, then we do allow our students to apply undecided. So if you want to take those first 2 years and go through as an undecided student, you're also able to do that as well too and take courses in different areas. The other great thing about the academics and the majors, and like I said before, we are a teaching college. So your professors are the ones who are in that classroom day-to-day teaching you, but our professors also come from not only that grad school background, but that professional background as well too. So with them having that professional background in the areas that they're teaching you, you're really going to be getting practical experience when it comes to the coursework that you're receiving, when it comes to your projects. And also too, within your classes, you might even be working with real life clients, such as maybe a local restaurant in the downtown area, and you are creating a campaign for them from start to finish, and they're really looking to rebrand and redesign themselves. And that could happen in a communications course. Maybe you're in a marketing course and they want you to do some analytics to really see what's going to help them, whether it's on a digital media side. Maybe they want to see how they can get themselves out there and promoting themselves as well too. And you're really going to be able to get those transferable skills without diving into an internship. And then also those are skills that you can really put on your resume for yourself towards the end of your years as well too. So it's giving you a lot of opportunity everywhere when it comes to those things. Now also too, with your majors, you're also going to have a lot of help in the academic areas as well, and also in those professional areas. So let's say if you're in that marketing area and you really have found a taste for it, it's something that you want to dive into, and this is your current major and you want to look for an internship, then you can work with your professors, you can work with the Career Development Center and really find out what you want to do and find an internship for yourself. So that way you're able to gain even more experience than you'll already be receiving within your classes. Now, when it comes to more of the nitty-gritty side of things, so this is our average cost for our students who will be coming in for 2021-22. Now this is for the full year and it only includes direct costs and it doesn't include any financial aid either. So for the direct costs, that's going to include your tuition, your room and board, your full meal plan, and then also any activity fees or orientation fees as well too. Now, for students who are first year students, they are required to live on campus just for their first year because we've realized that it gives you a very easier transition when you're moving from that high school level to that college level. And being on campus is also going to make it a lot easier when you are trying to get to your orientation activities, when you're trying to get to your classes. And it also is going to help you a lot with that time management as well too, which is a skill that you're really going to need when you're entering into your first year of college too. And it also is going to make it a lot easier for you to meet people, to make friends, to attend the different events and different activities that are going to be happening on campus. So you don't really have to worry about driving to and from wherever you may be living in Florida. Now, after your first year, if you realize that living on campus might not just be the style for you, you can live off campus if you'd like to. But if you want to continue living on campus, we also have our upperclassmen buildings as well too that you can also look into living in. Now, 90% of our students do receive financial aid. So with this financial aid, it can vary from a multiple of things. Now, if you've applied to Flagler and if you're accepted, you are automatically considered for any of the scholarships that we have available on the merit side. Now, these merit-based scholarships are based off of your core classes and how well you did in them. They are also based off of your test scores if you decided to submit them. You might also be eligible for any of our interview-based scholarships as well too. And those interview-based scholarships are through other departments here at Flagler. And typically students who apply earlier might be eligible for them as well too. And those are really going to come in handy also. And also too, you might also qualify for any need-based aid. So with that need-based aid, it is based off of your FAFSA information. So FAFSA typically starts at the beginning of October. And when that opens, we really encourage students to fill it out as soon as possible. So that way we can get that information as soon as we can to put together your financial aid package for you. And with the need-based aid, it is really great to have that FAFSA information, even if you feel like you won't receive anything. Because if you are eligible for something on the federal side, we can let you know. But you might also be eligible for a need-based grant from Flagler, from a boarding-based grant from Flagler, and just everything all around. And the great thing about our financial aid office here at Flagler is they're not only a resource for our current students, but they're also a really great resource for you guys, for our interested students as well. And you can set up virtual meetings with them. You can also just give them a call once in a while too. Or also too, if you ever come down to the Saint Augustine area, you can always set up a meeting with them as well. And it's something that I really encourage, just because it is really great to take the time to talk to someone who is very well versed within those areas, because going through the financial aid process can be a little bit tricky. And with our financial aid office, they'll sit down with you, go through everything, and then they'll also have hands-on paperwork that you can do as well too. And we also do have a net price calculator on our website as well. So that way you can maybe get an estimate of what you might be receiving, what you could be eligible for. And that's something that's very common with multiple colleges. So that is something that we do suggest that you take a look at on our website. Now for the final portion. So the application process, and really what you're going to be taking a look at when it comes to what we need to receive in order to give you an answer on your application. So if you're kind of looking at what maybe you want to aim for, or if you have no idea what the kind of students that we take in, last year for our students, the GPA was about a 3.5. Now for us, this is recalculated. So that 3.5 GPA is only based off of your core classes. And we also take into consideration how rigorous they are. So those core classes for you are going to be those Englishes, math, sciences, really those main classes that you need in order to graduate from your high school. And then when we're looking at how rigorous they might be, we're looking at if they're honors, AP, dual enrollment, ACE, IB, and those courses are going to be weighted a little bit more than your typical regular courses will be as well too. Now, that is very similar to your college or to your high school transcript. So those courses that you're doing a lot more work in, that you're taking the time to study for and putting a lot more hours into, we do recognize that. So weighting those courses a lot more for you are going to really come in handy. Now with the SAT, the average for those students was about 1130, and for the ACT, the average for those students was about a 24. Now these are just numbers. They aren't set numbers that you have to have in order for us to take your application into consideration or in order for us to even look at it. We do take a holistic approach when we are doing that application review. So with that holistic approach, all that means is that we are really taking the time to look at every portion of your application. We are going to look at not only your GPA and test scores if you submitted them, but we're also going to really take the time to read that essay that you were putting so much effort into. We also really take the time to look at those academic recommendations as well too, because those really play a big part to see how people see you in an academic setting and if you are really set up and fit for a college setting as well too. So if you do vary from these numbers, it is completely okay, but you are more than welcome to apply with whatever you have, so that way we can see how to work with you as well. Now for the application process, we're going to go over two. So your first application process that we're going to look at is going to be for students who have never been in a college setting before. So this will be their first time entering into the college world. And then that second application process, we will be looking at the transfer application process. Now for our students who are coming straight from high school, your first step, of course, is going to be submitting that application. Now with submitting the application, you do have two options with us. So you can submit the Make History application, which is our Flagler application on our website, but you can also submit the Common application as well too. So if you already have an account set up and that's what you want to go with, then all you have to do is add Flagler as one of your interested schools that you're going to apply to. Now, when you apply to Flagler, you are offered two decision deadlines. Now, your first decision deadline that you're going to see is going to be early decision. And early decision, it is for those students we typically recommend where Flagler is their #1 choice, and it's definitely the school that they want to go to. Early decision is a binding decision. So all that means is that if you apply to us and you're accepted, then you're telling us this is definitely where you want to go, and we are expecting you to rescind all of the other applications that you've submitted to other colleges. Now, if you're someone who really wants to take the time with the application process and you aren't entirely sure and you want to visit all of the colleges that you're interested in, because this is a really big decision for you guys, then we would recommend regular decision. It gives you a little bit more time to get in your application materials, and also it's going to give you a little bit more time on that decision deadline as well too. Now, for us, please don't confuse early decision with early action. Early action is essentially you telling a college you want to hear as soon as possible on your application decision. With early decision, that's you telling a college that that's definitely where you want to go to. So that's something to just keep in mind when you are applying and filling out those applications. Now, after you submitted your application with Flagler, your second step is going to be doing self-reported high school grades. Now, with self-reported high school grades, you're going to fill out something called an SSAR, which is a self-reported student academic record. Now, with that academic record, you're going to input the classes that you've taken throughout your previous 3 years of high school and the grades you've received. And then for the current year that you're in, you're going to put in the courses that you're currently taking and that are currently in progress for you at the moment. So the reason we have you do this is for our personal application process, we don't require a transcript until after graduation, or from your high school at least. And then it also gives us a faster turnaround when it comes to getting you an answer on your application. So getting you a faster turnaround, getting you an answer as quick as possible is our #1 priority when it comes to this application process for you. And also too, when we're waiting on an application, it can take quite a while, or waiting on a transcript, it can take quite a while. There might be electronic issues. Sometimes they do get lost in the mail, and you guys do have easier access to your grades than we do. Now, when it comes to when you're filling out the SSAR, we do recommend that you have an unofficial copy of your transcript with you, or even work with your school counselor as well too, just so you can be as accurate as possible. because once we go through your application, and if we don't receive your transcript until after graduation, we do go through and we double check it. Well, we double check it if we receive it right away, or even if we receive it after your graduation time at your high school. And we do go through to see if you've been honest, to see if it matches with what you've inputted, and just everything all together. So it is something that we do take very seriously. So just like I said before, make sure that you are being as accurate as possible with it. And then also too, if you are from a school that might do proficiency grading, then we do work with you to set up a scale on how you can input it. If you're from a school who happens to be in trimesters instead of semesters, we also do work with you to figure out how we can input your grades into the SSAR as well too. So this is also something that we're very flexible with, and something that we really work with you guys on as well too, so you're not just completely lost in the dark when you're filling it out. Now your next thing is going to be providing an academic recommendation. So with the academic recommendation, we typically recommend that it come from a counselor, it come from a teacher, someone who just knows you very well within an academic setting. Now these academic recommendations are something that we heavily rely on, because it is our way of seeing you through another person's eyes, because we don't really know the kind of student that you are right off the bat. If this person really sees that you're hardworking, if they really see that you have a great work ethic, if you're someone who maybe did not do so well in your freshman year, but you've greatly improved throughout your sophomore and junior year, and maybe your school counselor can reflect this within a letter of recommendation for you, then this is something that we're really going to weigh heavily on as well too. So it is something that's very important. And this is something that can either be submitted electronically, it can be faxed to us, and you have a lot of options of getting it to us as well too. Now with the essay, with our essay requirement, it's going to depend on which application that you're submitting. So if you submit the Make History application and you are going through with that essay, it's just one very broad prompt, and that essay will go directly to us. Now, if you're someone who is submitting through the Common App, you do have multiple prompts that you can choose from, but just keep in mind that that essay will go to all of the colleges that you're interested in. Now, a couple of tips and tricks that we really recommend when it comes to the essay is that you maybe have your English teacher read it, or someone in your family read it, just to go over any grammatical errors, to see if it's well thought out, to see if it's written well, and just all of those different things as well too. And the essay is also just our way of seeing your personality and seeing the type of person that you are, to see also if you're just a really great fit for us as well too. You can also get very creative with it as well. We've had some girls write about how she was a vanilla ice cream cone. You've had some people write about how Shrek is a cinematic masterpiece. And maybe there's someone that has completely changed your life and you would like to write about that and talk about how it impacted you. Maybe you went on a mission trip, or you went on a study abroad through high school, or just something like that. And it's something that has really changed your view on life. And it's something that'll really very much so pertain to you. So like I said, get creative with it. And it also provides a little fun for us when we're going through your application process too. Now with test scores. So test scores for us are optional, and we have been a test optional institution for quite some time now. Now with test scores, if you decide to go the test optional route, it won't affect when we view your application, and it will not affect your application process. You will still be considered for any merit-based scholarships, and you will also still be considered for any interview-based scholarships as well too. And then on top of that, you still receive the same application review process, and we won't push your application back or anything like that either. Now, with tests getting canceled here and there, that is something that has been very common as well. That's also okay. If you're planning on submitting test scores and you don't, and it happens that you aren't able to, and you're in great academic standing, then we would suggest that you submit test optional, because odds are you're going to be completely fine when it comes to that. Now, if you're someone who does want to submit test scores, you would submit those electronically, and we'll take SAT or ACT. And with the SAT or ACT, we do super score. So if you have taken multiple of those tests and you would like to submit all of them, we would recommend it, just because we'll take the highest per each section from every test that you've taken thus far. And let's say that you have submitted test scores and maybe your merit scholarships have room to be bumped up, then you can always take tests later down the road and submit those tests to see if it'll help you out in any merit scholarship way, even after you've been accepted. And if you're someone who's taking that test optional route and it happens to be because your tests have been getting canceled, and let's say you've gotten accepted without those test scores and you want to see if the test scores will bump up your merit scholarship at all either, you're also able to do that even after you've been accepted and even if you didn't submit test scores. So we are also very flexible with that as well too. So that might also be something else that you'll want to keep in mind when you're applying to Flagler. Now with transfer students. So transfer students is a little bit simpler of a process. So your first step is going to be submitting the application, of course. And it's just a very basic application on our website. And then your next step is going to be submitting those college transcripts. So when you're submitting those college transcripts, and this can also go for the high school students that are doing dual enrollment, you're going to be requesting that your current registrar from the college that you're at send over your transcripts to the Flagler registrar. So that way we can receive them in a proper manner. And if you're a transfer student who happens to be under 24 credits when it comes to your college credits, then also make sure that you submit a high school transcript as well too. So that way we also have that on record for you. So I believe that is everything for our presentation this evening. Does anyone have any questions before we head off? Okay, well, if no one has any questions, if you do have any questions in the future, you can always find my information on the Flagler College website, which will be www.flagler.edu. And again, my name is Morgan Goodwill. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you have any additional questions, you can always direct those to the PACAC organization. There will be a quick survey for you to fill out once you've closed, once the webinar does close, and you'll be able to also sign up for additional sessions. And of course, the recordings are all available on our website. Thank you very much.